It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. This is your Feel Good Breakfast Show Espresso on SABC3. Now, the 16 days of activism of no violence against women and children campaign is in full swing in South Africa. Now, South Africa adopted the campaign in 1998 as one of the intervention strategies towards creating a society free of violence. And the campaign seeks to raise awareness among South Africans about the negative impact of violence against women and children on all members of the community. And take a look at this video that really brings home the reason for 16 days of activism, and it may contain some sensitive imagery, so please be careful.
God forgives. So must you.
I don't want to involve myself in this situation.
What about my kids? I don't want them to grow up without a father.
Ngiyaxolisa sithando sami. Bekungenhloso yami ukulimaza.
We're joined this morning by Grant Pereira, brand director at Carling Black Label, the No Excuse movement that drives that message that real men take action against gender-based violence is what he's here to talk about. What a thought-provoking, emotionally provoking clip that we've just seen there, Grant.
Yes, it indeed is. And this television commercial we've flighted now for this year, and it does raise this terrible issue of gender-based violence.
Yeah.
And also the excuses made by people and families for it happening.
Yeah. So what is the No Excuse, the hashtag No Excuse campaign all about then?
The hashtag No Excuse campaign was started by our brand last year over International Men's Day, and it seeks to do two things. The first is to get men to take action against gender-based violence in their communities. Look, gender-based violence is overwhelmingly caused in a problem of men in communities. And if men can take action, they can solve the problem. And the second reason we started it is that we believe as a brand in the responsible use of alcohol.
Yeah.
And therefore, anything that is used, the abuse of alcohol, is never an excuse for gender-based violence.
Yeah, I mean, we saw some very provoking images of thousands and thousands of people gathered in a march. And let's quickly talk about the significance of this period and what you are asking South Africans to do over these 16 days of activism against violence against women and children.
No, thank you very much. These 16 days of activism are only 16 days. Our campaign is for a full year, but over this time we want to ask men to post 16 seconds of silence on social media, upload it with the hashtag 16 seconds of silence, and it's a small gesture of solidarity that we're asking men to show in solidarity with the women who have suffered gender-based violence.
Yeah, and then you also have a lot of information that you're also spreading online through this booklet that is also available online. Tell me about what people can find in this and how this is going to help the movement towards a society in which violence, and especially violence against women and children, doesn't exist.
Absolutely. That booklet you can find on our website, noexcusesa.com. It's a booklet that talks about modelling positive male behaviour, because when we have positive role models, we have a positive society. And it's also a booklet that talks about what women can do in their lives to combat gender-based violence.
Yeah. And so for women in these kinds of dreaded situations, as we've just seen over there, how can they get help?
Well, what we do, we partner with Lifeline. Our Stop Gender-Based Violence helpline is 0800 150 150. And this helpline is there for women to call for the first line of counselling in an abusive relationship. Yeah. But it's also a helpline for men who are perpetrating it to get the first level of help they need to stop gender-based violence.
Yeah. Your message to men out there during this time?
It's men, take action.
Yeah.
This is your time. We are all champions in this country, men and women. And if we want a better society for our children, today is when the action must start, in your families, in your communities.
Yeah. All right. Well, we do have a case study with some very interesting facts. We want you to take a look at this. And once again, do be careful. It might contain some sensitive imagery.
violence against women and children in South
Country heard
Africa.
about the shocking story of this young woman
Spotlight following some horrific incidents.
Where the high level of violence against women is
rape and domestic violence.
The South African breweries, together with Takuwani Riime, launched the No Excuses campaign.
We want to mobilize South African men to saying no to excuses and no to the abuse against women.
Bekungenhloso yami ukulimaza.
We are acutely aware of the link between men who abuse alcohol as well as men who sometimes abuse women.
Deaths a day, it should not be happening. And I think anywhere else in the world, that would be a problem.
It was just one outburst. She pushed me. I'm nothing like my father. Nothing like him.
This is a 5-year-long program because to change behavior, it's not something that happens overnight.
Well, the call is very clear. Enough is enough, and we're calling on all South African men to stand up and say there is no excuse for abuse against women. Now, I mean, you saw the statistics over there. 3 women die every day at the hands of their partner. Let's take a moment to reflect on that by sharing your hashtag 16 seconds of silence video on social media in solidarity with women across the world. For more information, you can visit noexcusesa.com to find out more.